Hello, fellow ghouls and gargoyles. This is Count Lazuli here, and it's probably no surprise to any of you that I'm a pretty big fan when it comes to video games. So I'm going to get right to the point, and we're here to discuss my top 5 favorite video games of all time. So let's get this show on the road. Number 5. Saurian. Talk about a dream come true after all these years. Saurian is a game in which you simulate the life of a dinosaur, starting as a hatchling and attempting to survive into your adult years while managing your hunger, your thirst, and your stamina. The very foundation of Saurian is to be as scientifically accurate as these devs can possibly be. You know this game is getting its facts and theories when even paleontologists are in support of it. You should know that this is not Ark or some Jurassic Park spin-off title. This game focuses on one specific time and place within prehistory, the late Cretaceous of the Mesozoic era, Hell Creek Formation in Montana, USA. While Saurian has the classic elements of the survival genre such as hunger and thirst, it should be noted that this game aspires for much more. Not only do you have to watch out for potential predators or the territorial herbivores, but your Vogel Games intends to implement harsh storms and forest fires as well, currently implementing rain floods as we speak. Saurian is a game that I am dedicated to for reasons beyond it being just a cool game. I have a strong passion for dinosaurs, if some of you have not known that yet. Always have been and always will be a dinosaur nerd. The only reason this doesn't make it higher on the list is because this is early access. And considering the game is still in development under only a handful of smart people, I can only show my support for what is yet to come. The Dakota Raptor is currently the only playable dinosaur in the game, but should eventually be followed with Pachycephalosaurus, Triceratops, Tyrannosaurus, Ankylosaurus, and Anzu. I highly recommend you check out their website and see for yourself just how passionate they are about the stories that took place 66 million years ago. Number 4. Transformers: Fall of Cybertron. I have to say, this here is the perfect Transformers game. Okay, maybe not the perfect, but close. And how can it not be? It has an epic campaign with a colorful cast of Autobots and Decepticons, a wave survival mode, and a kick-ass multiplayer mode with a decently detailed character customization. The story takes place during the final days of the war on planet Cybertron. Both factions are now growing desperate as Energon, their fuel and lifeblood, is depleting at an extreme rate. The Autobots are left no other choice than to abandon the planet with their final cargo ship, the Ark. Meanwhile, Megatron is hellbent on using his Decepticon forces to prevent the Autobot escape, perceiving this as a defiance of his authority. Fan favorite characters, as well as my own favorites, play respectable parts within the campaign. Even though this is a sequel to the game War for Cybertron, there is no need to play the previous game in order to enjoy the story and game modes of this installment. My favorite Transformer, Shockwave, plays the role of a side plot antagonist as the cold scientist that not only discovers the existence of Earth, but even creates the Dinobots based on the current life forms of the planet. I told you I was a dinosaur fan. Perhaps my favorite chapter in the campaign has to be when you play as Grimlock, decimating every Decepticon in your line of sight as you transform into a fire-breathing robot T-Rex with a ravenous vengeance for those that wronged you. Right down to limb models, tire decals, and voice tones, you can create your own crazy characters in the multiplayer mode and have fun in matches with your friends. Or at least you could go back when the servers had a fancy amount of folks. If you had the DLC as I did back on PlayStation 3, then those custom characters could change form into dinosaur and insect alt modes if you purchased those customization options as the DLC. Sadly, you can no longer purchase this or any related Transformers game digitally due to more of this corporate licensing junk that always happens. I had to get myself the PC version of this game through a Steam key instead. If you have an old gen console and see this game, get it. Just keep your distance from its sequel, Rise of the Darkspark. If you can even call it a sequel, that is. Number 3. Doom 2016. Alright, you all saw this coming from miles away. I have never been a Doom fan myself, if I am perfectly honest. It wasn't until I saw a few Markiplier playthroughs of this game that I eventually decided it could be a fun experience. It wasn't until I was downloading the game after getting it on sale that I learned about the Snap Map game mode, which would quickly become my favorite level editor in a video game. I've played Halo Forge modes, Little Big Planet games, and even a bit of Minecraft, but I never played a level editor that allowed such insane creative freedom as Snap Map. I won't get too in detail about this game mode, considering that I have plenty of playthroughs on my channel that will show you just what I love about this game mode so much. The multiplayer mode is hardly polished and at least a little fun with the crazy deathmatch arenas and demons you can temporarily play as. But the game really shines within the fun and campy campaign mode. Say that 3 times fast. Play as the temperamental Doomslayer as you rip and tear your way through the demonic outbreak on both the facilities of future Mars as well as the pits of hell itself. That premise alone should be reason enough for you to go out and buy this game. With so many games trying to be cinematic in style, it's really nice to play a game that brings back a handful of old school vibes, from unlocking doors to detailed boss battles. There's plenty of deep lore throughout the game if you so choose to involve yourself with it like I myself have. The key here is that it is a choice, because the devs knew that Doom was all about the mindless gore and over-the-top fun, and not a deep, compelling story. It was only after playing this game that I decided to give the original installments a shot myself. With Doom Eternal coming soon, folks are getting ready to continue the bloody adventure of the Doomslayer once again. I will most likely consider getting that game on Switch, seeing that it will have no Snap Map mode, and this game runs very well on modern Nintendo console as it is. Doom 2016 is a shoo-in on this list of games. Number 2. Warframe. Where do I even begin? Custom characters, complex lore, overwhelming amount of content, a story that will pull the heartstrings and blow the mind at the same time, and it's for free. The ongoing Warframe MMO began in 2013 and continues to thrive and prosper in new territory today. While Bethesda suffers from Fallout 76, EA attempts to recover from their loot box controversy, and Bungie tries to keep Destiny alive, Digital Extremes has no problem showing their fans that Warframe is alive and well with transparent public communication and innovative game ideas. Warframe is one of many games that offer the product itself without demanding a single dime, instead gaining profit from optional microtransactions. This is a technique that most game companies today could seriously learn from. Warframe understands that players will be more trusting when a game chooses to monetize either the game itself or the microtransactions, not both at the same time. They know that their cake cannot be had and eaten too. How many game companies these past couple years can you say have removed a microtransaction because of the unhealthy gambling practice it encourages? I can say that about Warframe, considering the way their pet skins used to work. Warframe is not a perfect game and does start off rather slow and directionless. You have to give the game a chance before deciding for yourself what portions of the game are really for you, considering the overwhelming amount of content and activities the game offers. For me, it's about the inspiring stories told within the mainline story quests, as well as the creative character and designs you can create with cosmetics. I cannot forget to point out that the incredible abstract designs of the Warframe characters are right up my alley when it comes to art style with their alien faces and surreal imagery. Most people are left directionless once they start, and so they leave Warframe. But take my advice and give Warframe a chance. At least get to the second dream quest, and things will start to become a little more clear in terms of story. It isn't something that you want to pass on, especially for a free game. And number 1, Metroid Prime Trilogy. Yeah, I know it is actually 3 games in one, but I couldn't decide. They are improved variants on a single disc anyway. For those of you who don't know, Metroid has always been my favorite game series, especially the Prime sub-series. There's so much to love about it, the adventure, the cryptic stories, the otherworldly atmosphere, and so much more. Most people will tell you that the first game in the trilogy is what takes the cake, but I can find unique gems in all 3 of these golden works of art. Step into the metal suit of the galactic bounty hunter, Samus Aran, as you traverse across a handful of dynamic alien worlds infected with the destructive and viral Phazon plague. Throughout the games, you will save these plants from the corrupting poison by destroying their meteor seeds embedded within the planet. Meanwhile, your eerie doppelganger, birthed from your own DNA and the Phazon, haunts you throughout the second and third games. I've lost track of just how many dreams I've had as a kid, where I would traverse these alien realms, desperately attempting to kill these horrible monsters before they could do such to me. At this point in time, I have beaten the trilogy a number of times and already feel the need to do it again. I have gotten rid of my Wii console, and for this reason, I'm glad to have been able to obtain the Steelbook edition of this game and hold it close in respect for what it is, even if the Steelbook has begun to chip and rust over time. This trilogy is soon to become a quadrilogy, seeing that Prime 4 has been announced. And this very announcement is the primary reason I purchased a Nintendo Switch in the first place. Whether or not Prime 4 will live up to its predecessors or join games like Other M and Federation Force on the dusty shelf remains to be seen. In the meantime, I'm going to go save some alien worlds once again. This was Count Lazuli, and as Samus Aran would say it, see you next mission.